All right, friends, welcome to the recording of today's Zoom class on raindrop technique. Yes, I have named it the cheesy April showers raindrop class because life is just better with a little bit of cheese. All right, let me go ahead and get the screen share going here. And here we go. Oh my goodness. Welcome to the recording here, friends, for April Showers Raindrop class. I am so glad that you are taking time to watch this. Raindrop is something that I really wish I would have learned about a whole lot earlier in my oily journey. So I'm very, very excited to be sharing with you today and to help you guys learn a little bit about what I didn't know for a long time. So before we get really into everything though, let me introduce myself to you. My name is Amanda Willis. For those of you who do not know me, I empower families to wellness authentically through biblically rooted principles. And I have been oiling with Young Living essential oils for about 7 years now. I am an executive leader. I have helped dozens of families to incorporate essential oils safely and effectively into their homes. So I have been using them myself. I have seen them work for other people, and sharing them is one of my absolute favorite things. Mostly though, I am a wife who is seeking to steward the health of my family well. And why are we not going to the next slide here? Let's try this again. There we go. There we go. And through God's grace and by walking by his principles, I've overcome chronic Lyme disease, digestive distress, major food sensitivities, and my spine is even unwinding after years of curvature. Raindrop has been a piece of my wellness puzzle. I have to give the caveat that it's not the only piece to the wellness puzzle, and it's not the only thing that I've incorporated. In fact, some of these things were improved before I even knew about Raindrop, but some of them, it's been very instrumental in assisting my body as well. But of course, that includes an entire wellness lifestyle of nutritious foods and proper sleep and stress management and all the things, right? I have to give the required disclaimer here as well. Of course, this information is for educational purposes only. It is not intended to diagnose, treat, or prevent any disease. I am not a doctor and I am not giving medical advice. All right, got it. There we go. So what is raindrop technique? Raindrop, this is straight from the Raindrop Guide by Paula Esposito, this definition, which I think is fantastic. Raindrop is a method of anointing with essential oils in which every organ and tissue of the body is addressed. It's applied to the soles of the feet, the back, and spine. Raindrop helps to bring structural and electrical alignment to the body. It assists in fighting harmful invaders, can be helpful in balancing that's supposed to say emotions, not implosions, emotions, improves cellular communication, and is considered one of the safest non-invasive regimens available for spinal health. So it's very simple. Everything's done just right on the spine. There's no manipulation or anything, just simple massage. So what makes Raindrop really powerful though are the 3 different types of compounds that are contained within the essential oils that we are using. So there's 3 major ones. You can remember them through the acronym PMS. That's why I have the P, M, and S all in bold for you here. The P stands for phenylpropanoids, or simply phenols. You'll hear phenols more often than you'll hear phenylpropanoids because who wants to say words that big all the time? Then you have your monoterpenes and your sesquiterpenes. Now the order that these are actually applied is PSM, but that's a lot harder to remember. So I'm giving you the PMS. You don't need to know that when you're applying Raindrop. There's a whole, we'll get into the application later, but just for remembering what are those molecules, what are those compounds that we're trying to remember, it's the PMS is your acronym. Now your phenols, these are cleansing. They're going to cleanse the cell receptor sites. They improve, which then improves cellular communication. They attack free radicals, they contribute to an unfriendly environment for invaders, and they help to dissolve petroleum-based chemicals and toxins. All of those are good things, right? So phenols are the very first oils that are used in the progression of layering oils in raindrop theory, not theory, oh my goodness, y'all. In raindrop therapy or raindrop technique, the words are kind of used interchangeably depending on who you're talking to. But when you are applying raindrop, the very first oils that you're going to use are the ones that are high in phenols. So these are cleansing those cell receptor sites, getting them ready for the next step. Then I'm going to skip ahead to sesquiterpenes because those are the ones that we apply next, and then we'll come back to the monoterpenes. Okay, so sesquiterpenes, think the S, remember scrubbers. So sesquiterpenes scrub, and what they're scrubbing is damaged cellular code and misinformation in the cells. So it's kind of taking any bad information and it's scrubbing that off of the cells. They also assist in transporting oxygen molecules to the cells. So you have your phenols first are cleansing the receptor sites. Then you're going to get a little deeper with sesquiterpenes, and you're going to carry oxygen to the cells, and it's also going to scrub that bad misinformation. Then you come to your monoterpenes next. Monoterpenes have the ability to rewrite or reprogram miswritten cellular memory back as how God created it to be. So sometimes for various reasons, I mean, there's a very long list of reasons that your cells could have bad misinformation in them, but they're written a specific way by God when he created you, right? There's a way that cell is supposed to function. And so monoterpenes come in and they tell that cell to function the way God created it to function. So it's really an awesome synergistic thing that happens between all three of these compounds. And some oils contain some of, different compounds and a combination thereof, but these are your main ones and kind of how raindrop is structured. So moving on, raindrop then uses 9 different essential oils. You have aromases, and aromases is going to be one that really soothes your sore muscles. Now, friends, if you have an essential oil desk reference guide or any other reference material, I encourage you to dive in and do even a little bit more research on these different oils other than just what's here on my slide. I'm having to be very careful because this is being recorded and shared, and I need to make sure I stay super duper compliant. But there are, just do some research into some of these oils. I'll share a couple good resource information or sources with you towards the end of this presentation as well, where you can really dive in a little deeper. But aromases is fantastic for soothing those sore muscles. Basil is going to be really beneficial for relaxing the voluntary and the involuntary muscular systems. And it may also combat mental fatigue, a lot of times breathing in that aroma of basil. Then you have cypress, promotes a sense of grounding and security. There's a lot of other things that cypress is beneficial for as well. Be sure to look that up. Then you have marjoram, which helps to soothe physical muscles and emotional nerves. So raindrop is not just a physical benefit, you're getting that emotional benefit too. And all of these oils work together with your whole body system. Because remember, we've talked about before, if you've come to any of my other classes, I'm very passionate about making sure we know that wellness is not just physical. We are created with a body, a soul, and a spirit. And all three of those things work together for wellness. You can't have one be healthy and the other one sick and you be well. You have to kind of work all of them together. So oregano is our next one, and it is high in the phenolpropanoids, otherwise known as phenols. So it helps to both awaken and clean the cell receptor sites, because remember, that's what our phenols do. Again, lots of other things that oregano does. Be sure you dive in and check them out. Then you have peppermint, which helps to relieve muscular discomfort, including in the digestive, respiratory, and nerve areas. All of those areas have muscles that sometimes need to be soothed, and peppermint really helps with that. Thyme is also another one like oregano that is high in your phenols. It may exhibit purifying properties as well and help to support the body overcoming feelings of fatigue following an illness. So this is a great one to use if you're kind of stuck in that fatigue, right? Raindrop can really be beneficial, and thyme can really be helpful for that as well. Wintergreen is wonderful for joint and bone health. And then Valor is actually the oil that is used the most in Raindrop. And it is, we like to call it courage in a bottle. It's super balancing physically and emotionally. So who can perform Raindrop? Do you have to go to a specialist? Do you have to find somebody who's certified in it? Can you do it on yourself? The great news here, friends, is anyone can perform Raindrop. Anyone can do Raindrop. You can do Raindrop on yourself, on your feet. Now, obviously, it's going to be hard to do on your spine, but you can get benefits still by doing it on your feet. You can have a spouse or a friend or another family member or somebody perform it on you. You can also find certified Raindrop therapists, and then, of course, you will likely be charged. Some people, depending on the therapist, some, if you provide your own oils, they don't charge as much, or they don't charge you for a session if they're part of your support team, if they're in your upline or downline or crossline. Sometimes people, they kind of vary how they handle charging for services and things. So be sure to look into that if you are interested. But I'll tell you, my husband performs Raindrop on me most of the time. Sometimes I do it on him, and a lot of times I'll do it on my own feet too. But I would say it's most frequently my husband. I've yet to have a certified Raindrop professional perform a Raindrop on me. So you can definitely still experience benefits without that. Now, the application method. In Paula Esposito's book, her Raindrop guide, you guys, this is like super tiny, but it's really, really beneficial. And this is actually packed full of so much goodness. I will give you more information on where to find this at the end, but it's one of my favorite resources. And in that, she has the best breakdown of VitaFlex I've seen. So when you are performing a Raindrop on someone, or someone's performing it on you, they're going to start on the feet with the VitaFlex technique. And so you may be thinking, what on earth is VitaFlex, right? If you're in the Young Living world, you've probably heard this before, and you may or may not know what we're talking about. So this is Paula's definition that she has in her book. She says, it's defined as vitality through the reflexes. VitaFlex operates on the physioelectric principle of human skin, where slight pressure induces an electrical charge. Utilizing the pads, tips, and nails of the finger. So if this were the foot, pads, tips, and nails of the finger going this direction, to build and then fire voltages into the specific reflex points. So you're building that electricity, or the electric charge, sorry, and then you are then firing that into those specific points on the feet. These VitaFlex includes electrical current flow along nerve pathways. It's coupled with the electrical nature of essential oils. This digital electrically stimulated current can then support normal nerve function, as well as benefit overall health and wellness. So you're using that VitaFlex technique to work the oils into the different parts of the feet. And actually it will go, if this were my big toe, you start at the heel, work your way back 3 times, all the way up making sure you get that big toe until each of your fingers rolls off the big toe. Then after you complete the VitaFlex technique on the feet, we're going to progress to the spine where the oils are then dropped from above the recipient and they fall like raindrops. So you have your bottle of oil and it's open, and I'm not going to do this with my open bottle of oil right now because I'm wearing jeans and that's a waste. So, but you would tip it open and say, this is the person's spine. You're dropping the oil down the spine. The number of drops, all of that is given to you in the information that's provided with the raindrop collection. And you work them down the spine, and then depending on what oil it is will depend on the massage stroke that's used. It might be feathering technique, it may be a spinal roll. There's several different techniques that are used. And again, those are all in the resource materials as well with the collection. And then at the end, after you've got all the oils on the feet first, then on the spine, then it ends with a warm compress that's put on top. The recipient rests with the compress so that those oils really sink into the spine. And what's amazing is that you're applying the oils neat, and there are some that are hotter oils like oregano and thyme. And if the recipient has extra sensitive skin and shows redness or anything, that's why we keep V6 nearby, the massage oil, and apply that right on top, and it will calm any of that down. If the recipient's not showing any sensitivity, then we use Ortho Ease massage oil in there as well right before that compress comes on. What's interesting is you have that really warm compress that goes on your back, and when it's first put on, it feels hot, and within 15 minutes, it suddenly is freezing because of the way that the menthol from the peppermint really works into the spine. And my husband laughs at me every time. He's like, it's so cold when he takes it off. So then when you finish your raindrop, both the facilitator and the recipient need to make sure that they hydrate. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. This can be plain water. It can be Ninja Red. I love to drink Ninja after a raindrop. I feel like that really helps me. You could do water with some vitality drops in there as well to help build that up, or a little pinch of really good salt. So I'm talking like a Redmond real salt or a Celtic sea salt, not your standard sea salt you're getting from the store. Maybe some pink Himalayan salt. Those are all good options. Speaking of hydrating, this is my red drink with Ninja Red in it. So you want to make sure you both hydrate just like after any massage. And then there are some adaptations that you can do. So for children, if you're wanting to do a raindrop on children, this is a great thing. If they start falling below that wellness line, or maybe they're really super achy, maybe they're having growing pains, or they're really extra emotional, and you just really want to do something to help support them, raindrop is fantastic for those things. You can do for really, really little children, you can do it just on their feet. Or maybe they're extra sensitive and they don't want you touching their back or whatever. You can still do just their feet. Even as an adult, you can do raindrop on your own feet the same way. You would follow the same method. And then also, if you are performing it on the spine of children, then especially for younger children, you want to make sure that before you apply the oils, the step that you would take is to add a layer of V6 massage oil first, because that's going to go ahead and dilute all of those oils as they come down, since children tend to have larger pores and they absorb oils faster. And then you use half of the number of drops that are called for. So when you get your raindrop collection, this is my very loved raindrop collection. Actually, this is the newer one. This is the newer one. The last one was actually all ripped throughout here, but it walks you through step by step. Okay, I know I'm small on the screen right now, so screen sharing, I'm sorry. But it walks you through step by step how to do each of the techniques, how many drops of each oil to use as well. And so that is loud. We're just going to put that over there. So if you're performing this on children, then you would just use half of the number of drops it tells you to use for adults. Then there are two other different adaptations that are very common. Raindrop in a bottle and raindrop baths are also very common and easy to do, and a way to get raindrop kind of into your routine a little bit more regularly when you don't have an hour or so to walk through the entire massage process. Now, there is something in the layering of the oils, okay? So these are not, I wouldn't say, oh yeah, I use raindrop or I receive raindrop regularly if I'm taking raindrop baths or doing raindrop in a bottle. It's a way to get all of those oils on you, but they're all combined together. And so you're missing that layering effect. And that's going to be just a little bit different. So still helpful though, still a great option. Raindrop in a bottle, there's lots of recipes out there and available. I just take all of my oils, and then it depends on the size bottle I have. If I'm doing it in a 5 milliliter or a 15 milliliter, and I mix in drops of all the oils. I put a little bit more Valor than what it calls for, or like than I do the, not what it calls for, but then what I do the other oils. I think I usually do like 10 drops of every oil, but 20 of Valor or 30 of Valor or something like that. And then I usually top it off with Ortho Ease. You could do V6, you could do any carrier oil, but I like to do the Ortho Ease because that's included in Raindrop a lot. And then you roll it on your feet along, say this is my foot, along that spinal area here, all the way up to the brain, the big toe up here, don't miss that. And I Vitaflex it all the way in on my feet. You can also roll it along the spine as well. And even if you're not Vitaflexing it, you're getting those oils on you, it's still going to be beneficial. Again, each kind of step that you take away is going to change the results that you see a little bit, but getting those oils on your body is always going to be beneficial. And then raindrop baths is where you just mix those oils into Epsom salts. So you can pre-mix them. You can, that's what I like to do, is pre-mix a big batch of raindrops, like bath salts, using just plain unscented Epsom salts. And then again, just like the raindrop in a bottle, do like 10 drops, depends on how big of a thing of Epsom salts I'm making, but like maybe 10 drops of each oil and 20 of Valor. White Angelica is an oil that's not required with raindrop, but is also very beneficial and can be used in conjunction. So sometimes I throw White Angelica in there as well. So for more information, my favorite resources, like I said, the Raindrop Guide by Dr. Paula K. Esposito. I know this looks so tiny, but this is so perfect. There's even, you guys, inside of this, there's even a tiny little Vitaflex. It's so cute. So there's a tiny little Vitaflex. It's not a full chart. It just shows you where the spine's at and the brain and the thyroid. So as you're working through there, but it's got that for the left and the right foot on there. It has a breakdown of all the oils. It's got so many different things as complete steps if you are evaluating performing, like evaluate, perform, and permission, actually preparing for the raindrop, an 11-point prelude. It's just fantastic. This is actually sourced from the official Center for Aromatherapy Research and Education, which is CARE. So the CARE training, which is actually that website on the very bottom, raindroptraining.com, is where you can find all of the CARE training. That's to become certified in raindrop technique. There's also lots of other really great resources on that website. It's a fantastic place to go look around. But these raindrop guides, you can get them individually, but I like to buy them in packages because they're super cheap. Like I think they're like $3 or something. And I'll stock up on these a lot of times when they're doing a sale, like right around convention or something like that. And growinghealthyhomes.com carries these. I'm not sure if you can find them anywhere else. CARE probably, and then growinghealthyhomes.com for sure. Young Living has videos on their YouTube channel for exactly how to perform a raindrop. So this was kind of more of an overview of performing a raindrop and more so the why raindrop is beneficial and how it works. The videos that Young Living has on their YouTube channel are going to be an actual breakdown of here's how you apply this oil, here's how you do this technique. So all of that is on the Young Living YouTube channel for free. And then of course, the Essential Oils Desk Reference is one of my favorite tools. They are out of print at this time, but you can still find them on a lot of used bookstores and stuff. It's one of my favorite resources, and there's a really great raindrop guide in there as well. So we have reached the end of today's presentation. I wanted to be sure to let you guys know for ongoing education. One, if you are a Young Living customer on my team, then you know you receive education via regular texts and emails as well as classes. If you are not yet a Young Living customer on anybody's team and you're like, I'm thinking maybe I'd like to try this, I would love to have you join us. I am here to support you to the level at which you would prefer to be supported. So I always listen to my customers. Some of them choose not to receive text. Some of them choose to receive emails once a month instead of every week. Some of them say, contact me all the ways. So we have Facebook groups, we've got all the things, right? But it's totally customizable for you. I'm going to go ahead and pop in the chat the link to order the raindrop technique. If you're watching this recording, it will be in the description below this video. So if you do not yet have somebody, if someone referred you to this video and they are a Young Living customer, be sure you contact them to order. But if you found this video, just happened upon it, or if I referred you to this video, please be sure to use my referral link there. It would be much appreciated. And then I get to help support you. If you sign up with somebody else that's not on my team, then I don't get to support you. You have other people though. You will have other people. So I also provide ongoing education, whether or not you are on my team. If you are interested in biblical health at all, I have a newsletter list, the Pillars of Biblical Health opt-in, or the 5 tips for relieving painful periods will get you on that newsletter list. So again, I'm going to post both of those here in the chat. And then I will post them also down in the description below. They're actually below every video that is posted on YouTube and Rumble. So you can hop on over there. Of course, my YouTube and Rumble pages. I'm at Amanda Faye Willis on both of those. Video content, I try to get it out twice a week for you. Frequently, recently, it's just been once a week. But that's because we just recently moved, getting back into the rhythm, and we'll be back up to twice a week here very soon. But be sure you subscribe on either YouTube or Rumble, your platform of choice, and hop on the newsletter list. I'm going to go ahead and jump us over to Q&A here on our live call. If you are watching this replay and you have questions, please pop them in the comments below. I'd be happy to answer them for you. If you're not comfortable asking them in public, then just reach out to me via my website, which is also linked down here as well, and just pop me an email, or if you have my number, feel free to text me, and I'd be more than happy to answer your questions for you. Thank you again so much for taking your time to watch this presentation. I hope it was beneficial for you, that you learned a lot, that you will give Raindrop a try and see. Frequently, Raindrop can take a couple times to really see noticeable changes, but I will say for me personally, my first Raindrop, I had a huge emotional release, and I also had some detox things that happened, and my spine was very happy afterwards. So everybody's different, everybody's results will be different, but I would love to hear what your experience is with Raindrop when you give it a try. Until next time, take care, friends. If you're watching this recording, I'm going to go ahead and end that. Until next time, cheers. And those of you live, we'll get into Q&A.